Hey guys, so another cold and miserable winter's day here in Las Vegas. So rather than work on cars today, I think what we'll do is we'll take today's video and just make it an annual progress blog and a combination with a shop tour. So we've had a special request from one of our viewers, Rodney, who is heavily into a early 9/11 restoration. And his question is, how much space are we using here? Maybe take a look around the shop here for some good ideas of how to set things up and get all the scope of works done. So anyways, hopefully this will be helpful in that sense. We're basically DIY here anyway, so this should be helpful for you guys at home. Maybe give you some shop ideas and see exactly how much space it takes to do a full restoration. Same process was done with this car here 15 years ago, so it is very doable. A lot of patience, a lot of dedication, and it takes a lot of time. That car out there that we're going to go look at has been 5 years in restoration process. Hopefully, barring any unknowns or any unforeseens, any more pandemics, we get it finished this year and on the road. So anyways, we'll go through the progress on that. We'll take a look at some parts. We'll combo it up with a shop tour and hopefully make a fun video for you. Okay, let's get started by getting outside and have a look at that car and see exactly what's going on with it. Okay, so let's take a look and see exactly what's happening with our car here and what stage we're in. So we're almost complete with all the trim and body panels. We're very, very close to completing the car itself. Not sure if the sunlight situation here is going to help us out here. It's just so bright and you get a little bit of glare here, and we'll try our best. So basically here's our condition. We got our doors hung last weekend. Dad came over and we took these on and off several times trying to get things worked out here. I got them temporarily pinned to the seat so they don't accidentally fly open. If these things fly open, I could have a real accident right here at the fender line, and if we have to redo body work at this stage, that could be really, really painful. Would set us back probably another 5 years, so just being careful there. And then having a nice look at our inside here with the sun coming through the window there. So front seating is all done now. Our rear section is all complete. We've got our rear quarter windows mocked up here, but not installed. So what's going to happen there, I'm going to try and fit some glass that I have. Not exactly the proper glass for this, but we're going to try and make it work. We'll take a look at that here in a minute and see exactly what's involved with the rear quarter glass. So basically the car is complete with the exception of trimming out our doors and our rear quarter glass. Everything on the front here is dialed in and adjusted. Inside the trunk, 100% complete in there. We've got everything trimmed out all the way to the back, and just adjusting our door gaps now and getting everything dialed in there. And you can see the same situation here. We just don't want any accidents. There's basically a nice bright view of where we are with the inside. All right, and then having a look at our trunk area. Got our new car cover setting in there. So we're all trimmed out in here also. Not much more to do in here other than fill it with gasoline. Let me take a look at our spare tire situation in there. Our spare tire, everything's all completed in here. That's pretty much going to be our finished look. And then have a look at our engine compartment. We got a nice bright sun shining on everything. Okay, so everything in here is basically 100% complete. All electrical work has been gone through thoroughly with troubleshooting and seems to be working properly and the way it should. So hopefully when we get our engine installed, we don't have any issues there. So then having a look at our environment and see exactly what kind of space we're working in here to build the car. You could do this in a garage, a two-car garage. It's definitely doable. Luckily, I do have some space on the side of the house where we can take advantage of that. So originally what we had here was a carport I used to park my truck in. And we've just kind of converted it to a spray booth, temporary structure here to keep the car clean. Also, you can see the aluminum foil here. The whole purpose of that is to keep out the UV when the sun comes around the side of the house there. A lot of the videos you can hear that blowing and flapping. It's really obnoxious, but it keeps the car in really good shape over the years and keeps the UV off of it. So dimensions here with this carport, we're about 14 feet wide from the house wall to the outer posts here. We're about 23 feet deep from the door jamb here all the way to the front, and about 9 feet to the center of our lid there. And these lights up here that have been installed, these are actual spray booth lights, so electrically they won't combust if you have any fumes in here. And the whole purpose of the build out here was just a temporary spray structure, but it worked so well, I thought, well, let's just go ahead and use it. We'll keep it as a clean room for assembly, and it's worked out really, really well. However, it was built with temporary construction in mind. I don't really want a permanent structure here, so we're really just coming to the end of its lifespan here. It's starting to weather and definitely needs to be torn down. And then taking a look up front here, we have some air conditioning. The lower section here I've just got blocked off. This would have been the exhaust fan for you guys who haven't seen the whole series. So we did the spraying in here and it exhausted out through that bottom section there. So right now I'm just keeping everything sealed up, keep the dust out, and climate controlled in here. We've also got a bench over here that I do some work on. Most of the work though that we do in the series is done inside the shop, where I got a much bigger bench and a little bit better lighting situation. Also, we got compressed air out here. We have filtered air coming in through the shop. It comes through to the outside of the booth and then routes the back wall there and then goes up into the shop there. So I can regulate filtered air versus non-filtered air, have compressed air out here. You definitely have to have good compressed air to get yourself through a restoration. And then looking at the outside area here, this is where I basically do all my dirty work, sandblasting, parts cleaning, things of that nature. You're definitely going to need some space to do that kind of work. Luckily on the side here where the wall is, I use the rock area as kind of a drain and rinse everything down there. But about 25 feet to the gates from our threshold here. Let's go look at our sandblast. So sandblasting cabinet is something you're definitely going to need to do restoration work. Be almost impossible to do anything of high quality without it. Plus you can control the cleaning and the stripping much better if you can do it yourself. Can't imagine trying to sand everything out for that process. So I'm just using a real inexpensive medium-sized cabinet here. And if I was going to do this all the time, I would definitely invest in a high quality sealed unit that can do the job, has good filtration, and can be done more clean. This is real messy. Even though I'm outside here, it blows out a lot of sand through all the cracks and crevices because the cabinet is pressurized, and it just really makes a mess. But out here I can rinse it down and we can blow everything off and get rid of it. And we definitely don't want this in the shop or anywhere near the car. So sandblasting cabinet outside, I would say, is a definite must. And then one final look here before we head inside the shop and see what's going on in there. And then just taking a quick peek at our Tiger here while we're walking around the shop and looking at things, and have our hood up here. So I had this one out last weekend just doing some carburation adjustment and a little bit of coil work there. But basically a really fun car to drive. This was done about 15 years ago here, the same setup as our Porsche out there. Did everything under our carport. A lot of fun to drive, a lot of fun to own. But this little guy right here, this thing can really try your patience. The fitment of this engine in here and all the components related to it are so tight, it can just be absolutely miserable working on this thing. I mean, it can take you hours to do the most simple thing. So if you're new to the channel and interested in looking at this car in more detail, I do have some SEMA videos where I go over this in a little bit better detail. But a real nice car to drive and a lot of fun to own. Okay, so then moving on to our shop tour and dimensions of our shop space in here. So I'm working inside a 3-car garage, and the dimensions here would be 20 by 30 approximately, or 600 square feet of floor space. Our first single stall car section here, I'm just using this for bench work, any kind of tooling, storage, any kind of small work that needs to be done is all performed right here. And then also over here in the corner, we have our electroplating center. Everything we need to do our electroplating is pretty much setting right there. So a little turnkey unit there, which makes it really, really handy. And then some portable storage shelving here, which we're just slowly eliminating as we're moving through the parts. And then panning from our work area to the front of the shop here. So shop is completely insulated and sealed. We have no UV penetration here whatsoever, so we keep the sunlight out. All dust is sealed out through gaskets in the garage doors, and the temperature in here is fairly stable. Although we don't have it air conditioned, we're able to keep it fairly stable through insulation. And then one other thing I think is worth taking a close-up look at is this bench here that I use. So I had a very good friend of mine, Kent Reynolds, made this up for me years ago. We got together with our heads and came up with a size that would work for this kind of area. And Kent welded this up for me. It's got power to it. It's about as heavy as a car. It's incredibly solid, hollow tube construction, but it's welded up and constructed in a way where it's perfectly straight, perfectly flat, and I have leveling capabilities here. So if I need a straight edge, or I need something really flat and sturdy, I need something to pound on, this is going to be the way to get there. We can get things done with this bench here that it's just not possible to get to with a wooden bench. All right, so then let's move on to some parts here and then talk about what's left to do on our project. So here's our quarter window dilemma that I'm trying to resolve here. So you can see the green new tinted windows that I have. They're not the same size and profile as original. And original glass on this car was green tinted. This is just one I managed to source from a vendor to practice on. And the problem with buying used quarter glass is it's always got these deep scratches in there. You can see that guy, it's just so deep. And I've tried everything to sand them out, polish them out, trying to get them to shine back up. Virtually nothing you can do to restore the condition of the original glass. So if it's got any flaws, any scratches, any kind of blemishes in it, you're pretty much going to have to live with it. So that being said, we definitely have a dilemma with our quarter window glass on this project. So I've got these newer replacement pieces I'm going to try to cut. I don't know that I'll have any success with it because it's not possible to cut tempered glass, although I don't think these are tempered because it would say so in the glass bug here, and it doesn't say anything about being tempered or laminated. So I may or may not have some success there. Hopefully I do. If not, then I'm back to square one looking for a real nice set of original glass. Okay guys, so I'm going to put it out there to the Porsche universe, and hopefully the Porsche gods shine on us here and help us out. So if anybody out there knows of anyone who has a matching pair of green tinted quarter glass that would be suitable for this restoration, doesn't have any scratches in it, in really nice condition, perhaps you could contact me and maybe we could work something out. Really just kind of in a corner right now trying to finish the car. I can try and cut these, but I'd really be preferring to be original if we can. But the set would have to be really pristine for me to give it a try. I've ordered several of these on eBay and other junkyard vendors, and just sent them all back. They're just in such terrible shape. There's literally no way you can reuse them. And then just a quickie look here at our basic door inners. We're getting ready to install there. Let me go ahead and clear this bench. I want to set some parts up for you we can have a nice look at, and then we'll talk about what's left to do on this car for the rest of the year. So then, as soon as we move through our doors and quarter glass situation, we'll pretty much have our car 100% complete with the exception of the engine work here. You can see I've already got many of the parts and pieces reconditioned and ready to go for assembly. We still have to get into our long block and gearbox, but some of this work has already been done, and that should help move things along nicely once we get started. And then a close-up look here at our carburetors and manifolds. So these have been freshly vapor blasted. Really happy with the way those turned out. That should make for a real fun video putting all this together. And then last but not least, our dreaded long block and gearbox. So we're going to open this up and have a look inside real soon. Once we get through our carburation video, clear the bench, make room for some more parts, we will open this guy up, have a look inside, and see exactly what it's going to take to put this back together, and also our gearbox. So I'm not really sure what we're going to find, how much of this we're going to be able to do ourselves versus sending out. You can do a lot yourself, to restore these cars in your garage, but we are limited on tooling and machinery, so that really is basically going to dictate what we can do on the engine and gearbox. But we will have a close-up look. We'll go through this step by step when we do it. And also my game plan on doing video work for a long block and gearbox, we're going to differ a little bit in video structure. So I'm really going to try to increase the video quantity and shorten the duration. So we'll do shorter videos. I'm not really sure how that's going to work out, but we'll give it a try. Maybe 5 to 10 minute videos at most, just taking one little section at a time, talking about it, describing it, explaining it, and then moving on to the next thing. That way, when we're done, we have a nice little video library we can go back to and refer to. There's a short version of 5 years in the works, so as you can see, it can definitely be done in a small environment, a small shop. I guess my best advice would be just keeping everything super clean and super organized is probably going to be your best advantage when you take something like that apart. There's just so many parts, thousands and thousands of photographs taken on that project. And however many photographs I've taken over the years, it always seems like it's not enough, so I can never take too many pictures. Also, I want to thank Rodney for suggesting a shop tour on this video. We want to wish him the best of luck on his restoration. And all you guys out there working on your cars, we wish you the best of luck, and thank you for your support on this channel, all the positive comments over the years, very, very encouraging. And also all you guys who have supported our new store, launching of our store this year, very successful, and thank you for your patronage. It helps keep the channel going, and hopefully you can find what you need in that store to get you through your project. So keep safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you on the next video.